I realize this video doesn't pertain 100% to gold and silver or coins really, but I think it's vitally important for people in debt to hear. I know what it feels like to have debt. It's a crushing burden that feels like it gets worse every day and there's no way out. But trust me, there is a light at the end of the tunnel and it's possible to get out of debt. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to get out of debt and stay out of debt. Coming up. Hey everyone, welcome to Campbell's Coins. Not my typical video, but I get a lot of messages from folks about debt and handling it, and maybe this will help you out as well. I don't want to sound preachy, nor do I mean to, so please don't take this video as such or with judgment, because that isn't my purpose or intention. Debt is a constant, overwhelming feeling that you're just stuck. Debt is this enormous burden, but how can one overcome the debt burden and stay out of it? Here are some of the steps I have used in my personal life to accomplish getting out of debt, and more importantly, staying out of debt. I feel the first thing to ask oneself is the question, why am I in debt? Do you have to have the latest iPhone release? Drive the newest car model? Maybe you were let go from your job and you were forced to put expenses on credit cards just to keep going. Maybe it's debt from school for that degree you're not using. People want out of debt, but a shift in mindset is absolutely necessary to begin. You can't just want out of debt. You have to be able to take steps to begin this journey. And in this video, we're going to show what those steps can look like. Figuring out why you are in debt is the first step to getting out. As with most things, it can be the most difficult step because it forces one to have some reflection on their behavior, and that can be painful. It's painful to admit to yourself that the reason you're in debt is because of actions you've made. It's easy to blame others or situations, but it's difficult to take control and responsibility. It may not be as easy as, I'm in debt because I took on student loans. It could be as difficult as, I'm in debt because I have unsustainable spending habits. Once you have really looked at why you're in debt, the next step is to create a budget. Where does your monthly income go? If you don't have monthly income, why don't you? Are you too good to work at McDonald's? Are you too good to mow lawns? Are you unable to do physical work because of an injury? I've always had the mindset, if I'm out of work, no job is too low for me. I'm not going to go get unemployment because I can still work flipping burgers. If you're physically unable to do something, like manual labor, there are things that one can do to earn a living. I won't be discussing those in this video because I just don't have all the time, and this is going to be a long video as it is. I graduated college in the fall of 2008, right at the start of the '08 financial crisis. Every big boy job I applied to did not want a fresh college graduate or wasn't hiring. I immediately went to work for Big Five Sporting Goods for $8 an hour. You want to know why? Because nothing was beneath me. My mindset was, if I didn't have a job, there was really nothing I could turn my nose at because I had nothing else going for me at the time. The hours were crap. I think I was working 20 hours a week, which was barely enough to live on. I lived in an apartment with 2 other people because that was a cheaper option than having my own place. I worked throughout college at a grocery store, and I didn't have college debt because I worked so much, and that money I made paid for my college tuition. I quit that job though my senior year to focus on my studies, and I went to work on campus at a bookstore for $8 an hour. It was less demanding hours and it worked out great with my school schedule. But when I graduated, I was really down on myself. I couldn't believe I was working at another minimum wage job when I felt I deserved so much more. I kept at it. I grabbed more hours from folks that didn't want to work their shifts because that's what I had to do to survive. All while working at Big Five, I was looking for better jobs. I didn't necessarily find better, but what I found were some with potential. And each workplace I moved to, I worked my ass off to show them what I was worth to them. My pay increased, my status increased within the companies, and I never stopped looking for that something to better myself. But while I was in these crap jobs, I had to create a monthly budget and stick to it. I didn't have a whole lot of income coming in, so of course I had to make sure that the income that was coming in wasn't going out to crappy things or things I was blowing my money on. Figure out your monthly income, less taxes, and create a list of everything you purchase in a given month. What are you spending your money on? What can you cut out of your life? If you're in debt to the point where it's negatively affecting you or your loved ones, it's time to start cutting unnecessary things like TV apps, subscriptions, coffee, maybe even that pizza that you're getting every week. You don't need them. If you're not making food at home, it's time to start. Going out to eat is very expensive compared to making your own meals. No expense is too small to keep track of when determining where your dollars are going, because those expenses are often the reason you're stuck. $10 here and there really adds up. Before you know it, you've spent $400 on junk every month. A $5 cup of coffee 5 days a week comes out to $1,200 a year. Now apply that to everything else. It's easy to get carried away. Okay, so here is a Google Doc that I created. I will put this down in the description below. I don't know if it'll be live immediately when this video goes up, but I will try to have this so that other people can download it if you want. This is just something I came up based off something that I've used over the years. And if you want to, you can add or subtract things. But essentially I put like internet, my cell bill, my Amazon membership, what is my car insurance, rent, water, electric, and then fluid amounts. We have food, because that's never constant, it's always fluctuating. Gas, pet food, anything else you can think of. I mean, you can add so many lines to this. My point is, the more that you add here, the more you can keep track of where your money is going. Down here at the bottom I have some formatting. So average monthly income, less taxes. I just put $3,400. You can put whatever you make after taxes in this, and it will auto-populate for the rest of down here the monthly savings. So let's say you bring home $2,000 a month. Then it shows you, after you input all of your charges, how much you're able to take away in terms of savings after every month. And what I really do like about this is it shows me how much I'm spending every year on something. So if I were, if I had internet for a year and, 35. So far I would have spent $210 if it was at $35 a month. It really gets you to see like, wow, I'm spending that much money on blank, like what am I spending my money on? Finding what you're spending too much money on, like TV apps. You have so many apps out there that are $10, $15 a month. That stuff really adds up, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're not really watching it or when you don't really need it, it's one of those things that you can cut from your life. If after creating a monthly budget and eliminating unnecessary expenses still doesn't leave you with some sort of surplus each month, it might be time to start thinking about minimizing. How much are you paying to live in your space? Can you go to a smaller house or apartment? Can you move in with people or share a room? Can you sell your car and bike around town or take the bus? Think about ways you can lower how much money you pay each month for certain things. If you're already at the bare minimum and you can't cut any more, are you able to take on a second job? Maybe a third job? Trust me, I've been there. It really sucks. I've never felt more drained in my life than working 16-hour days for a few years. But I did it because it's what I had to do to get where I wanted to be. Now that you've figured out a monthly budget, you've minimized monthly charges, take whatever surplus income you have and apply it to your debt. Whatever you do, don't blow it on more useless junk. Credit card companies want you to remain in debt by paying off just the monthly minimum payment. It makes them an incredible amount of money, keeping you as their debt slave. Please don't pay just the minimum. Pay off your monthly charges every month if possible. If you have credit card debt, pay as much as you can on it to minimize the interest you will be charged. Maybe you decide to sell things. Use that cash and put it towards your debt, no matter how small. Got cash for your birthday? Put it towards your debt. Find $5 on the ground? Put it towards your debt. Credit card companies can also be a blessing. Yes, I know, it sounds like an oxymoron, but there are some who allow one to transfer a balance from one credit card to another for a small transaction fee. I've seen these fees as low as 2% of the balance transferred and as high as 5% of the balance transferred. That is an excellent deal, and let me tell you why. When you're paying 30% a month in interest, paying a one-time 2%, 3%, 5% fee on, let's say, $10,000 is small compared to paying 30% every month on that $10,000. They're also great because these offers also include usually like a 0% interest period. For instance, I know Capital One has an 18-month zero interest plan as long as you do the minimum monthly payments. If you fall behind and somehow exceed the 18 months, you're going to be charged an enormous amount of interest, but if you have the discipline, it can definitely help pull one out of the void. There's a lot of other credit card companies with similar programs, some with varying, I know some have like 12 months, 6 months, but almost all of them have a zero interest period where you're not being charged interest on that balance transfer, and that can be huge because that's a lot of money saved compared to just leaving it on your 25% interest card or 30% interest card, or I hate to say it, even worse. This will be a long and arduous process depending upon your debt level, but trust me, when you're done, you will never feel freer. When you finally paid off that debt, it's really easy to fall back into it. Stick to your monthly budget. Stick to that strict discipline you use for so long to pay off your debt. Don't spend more than you can. Pay off each and every month. It's going to be tempting with that cash surplus you see each month. One way I don't fall back into debt is buying precious metals. I know, that sounds like complete opposite of what one should do when struggling with debt, but please just hear me out. I view precious metals as investments and hedges against inflation, something we are seeing a lot of right now. Buying precious metals act as my savings because I don't really trust the banks. If you'd like to check out my mindset on banks, check out the other videos I have on my channel. Getting back to purchasing precious metals, I don't use my credit cards to purchase these metals. You end up paying so much more than if you were to pay with a check. I use whatever surplus I have each month to buy them. If I don't have enough, I either keep some of that cash in the bank or on hand in my home, and I wait until the next month. One of the lesser known reasons I buy precious metals is because it makes it more difficult to spend than if you just had cash in your bank account or lying around. When it's tied up in precious metals, I can't just go out and buy something. I have to work to sell it either to another individual or an LCS to get that cash. Like this 100-gram pant bar right here. That's like a $6,000 item. I have to actually work to try to sell this. This 100-ounce silver bar. I can't take that to the grocery store and spend. I can't take this to Netflix and get monthly subscriptions or Hulu or what have you. I can't go to a car dealership or to AT&T and get a new phone. I have to work to sell this. So keeping my money in precious metals is, I've explained it before, but it's for multiple reasons. And one of them is it's not going anywhere. I have to do something to turn this into cash again. What works for me might not work for everyone, so do what you're comfortable with doing. This video is getting a little long, and I think that covers a good portion of what I wanted to discuss. If there is something you feel I missed, let us know in the comments below. If there's something you feel would help people, put it in the comments below for everyone to see. I don't know everything, folks. I never claim to, but I know some things, and other people know something I don't. it's good to learn. If you're interested, check out the other videos I have on my channel discussing the importance of precious metals and how they can help you preserve and protect your wealth. If you made it this far in the video, you guys and gals are my super stackers and collectors, and I appreciate you. Thank you all for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.